In this video, I want to show you Claude Cowork. Claude Cowork is a great tool which can save you hours every week or maybe even day. This tool is available to all Claude subscribers, so if you have access to Claude Code, then you have access to Claude Cowork. So let's begin. I'm now in desktop app for Claude, so Cowork works only in desktop mode. And you can see three tabs here: Chat, Cowork and Code. I'm in this Cowork tab, so basically I want to use Claude Cowork. Now here you might ask, what's the difference between Chat, Cowork and Code? Well, the main difference is that Chat is a regular chat, which is like ChatGPT, which works in the cloud. It means that LLM processing happens in the cloud and everything you upload happens in the cloud as well. So if you upload a PDF, it stays inside the chat and it is stored somewhere in the cloud. So it doesn't touch your local files. In Cowork and in Claude Code, the idea is that it works with local files on your disk, so on your Mac or on your Windows or on your Linux, and it can read files, it can create new files, it can modify existing files, and this is the main difference. This is both doable with Cowork and Code, and the main difference is that Cowork has slightly stricter restrictions than Code in terms of security. Cowork sessions, they work in some isolated environments inside your laptop, inside your PC, and Claude Code doesn't. So it means that if you're a regular user, if you're not a developer, then it's better to use Cowork. It's just safer. And this is like the main difference. And so let's talk now about Cowork. So you can see a lot of different options of what you can do here. And today I want to show you some basic stuff which can save you a lot of time. First, when you see this Cowork window, you can see that you can work in a project, which means it can work in some folder. Or if you don't select anything here, you leave work in a project, it means that there will be folder. It will be created locally on your computer and you can open it in your computer. But let's say we want to work with some existing folder. I created this folder called Cowork example, and I have just one file, titanic.csv. So titanic.csv is a file which stores different data for passengers in Titanic with their data, like passenger ID, survived, 01 means they haven't survived or they have survived, passenger class, name, sex, age, and some other data. So I have just one CSV file, it's local. Now let's go back to Cowork. I click here, work in a project, I click choose a different folder, and I select this folder I created, I click open. Now I see that I'm in this folder and what I can do now. So let's say I first want to know what is in the data. So I write simple prompt, what is in the data, click run, and it says that there is titanic.csv, so it reads this file and lets me know what is inside this file. Now let's say I want to go further and I want to visualize this data. Let's ask simple request. The cool thing about Cowork, and I think it works in chat as well, is that it can visualize everything inline in chat, so you can see what is in your data inside. And this can work with, let's say if you have PDF or you have docx file or you have a spreadsheet and you have them locally, then what you can do is you can open Cowork inside this folder and you can ask Cowork to visualize data, obviously with the details, so you can specify what exactly you wanted to visualize. Now I have just general request, visualize the data, so let's see what Claude gives us. And we see passengers, survived, survival rate, median fare, survival rate by group. So you see different groups, female, male, first class, second class, third class. First class has survival rate way higher than second and third class. Age group, section class. So you see, nice, we have some visualizations. We can ask for different visualizations here. So now let's say I want to turn this data into some report in docx, right? So you have some raw data and you want to create some analytics report for your boss or for publishing it online. Let me ask Claude, generate docx file with report about interesting findings in the data. Now you see that Claude started adding tasks, and here you see progress, deepen data analysis, write docx report, verify report figures. So what does it mean is that this is, by the way, the difference between Cowork and Claude, is that here in Cowork, it can use to-do list. So it works like it creates a to-do list for itself if the task is a bit complicated. And then it marks tasks as done. Here you see deep and data analysis. This task is done. This is done automatically by Cowork. Now it's working on writing the report. And by the way, here you can even ask a question. If you want some additional to do, you can write it here or just in chat in natural language, and Claude will adjust the to-do list. The report is ready, and Claude Cowork opened it here for me to see. I can check different charts, different tables. So it's basically quite solid report with sources, conclusion, and you see that this was done in literally 3 prompts in total. And if you go to the folder, you can click show in folder, you can see that now you have these docx files locally. Now in Claude Chat, if you would create a new chat, these files were not available to him in the next chat. Well, if I continue working in the same folder, in the same project, then I still have access to these files. So let's say I click here, new task. I'm still in Cowork example, and let's say I want a PDF. So I say turn docx into PDF. And you see that Claude starts with exploring the folder. This is the context, and here is the PDF saved in the same folder. And we have this PDF here, which you can use, which you can send. PDF is the best format to send. Although we have some temporary file here, which is some rubbish left by Claude Cowork, but I think it's okay. Now, what else can do in Cowork? I think very powerful feature is scheduled tasks. So if you go to scheduled, you can create some tasks that will be run on some schedule regularly, once a day, once per week, once a month. Let's say if you need to analyze some data and send report once a month, this is how you can do it in Cowork. Let me show you 2 simple examples of what you can do locally. So first, clean up downloads. I have this instruction for this scheduled task: organize my downloads into folders, archives, videos, images, documents, code, spreadsheets, to delete anything older than 30 days, including files from other folders. Don't write any reports. And working folder is user Dennis downloads. Repeats every Monday at 9 a.m. And now if I go to downloads, you can see that all my downloads are basically ordered into folders. And this happens automatically, so you don't have a mess of 100 files and you don't remember which file is what. Now you can obviously make better decisions and have better organization in your downloads folder. Unfortunately, Claude Cowork, maybe luckily, Claude Cowork can't delete files in your download folder because of some security restrictions. This is something Claude Code, for example, could have done, but Cowork it can't do. So instead, I just ask it to create to delete folder, which I can delete myself if I want to. Another example of scheduled task I have: daily AI tech briefing. So it's basically a prompt which asks me to find some useful, relevant news about AI and summarize it for me. And again, I can have it every morning. So every morning I have this briefing with all the news. And again, depending on your circumstances, you want maybe news about some particular company, or you want news about some industry, or maybe you want it to create docx report with the news or PDF with the news with some charts, some data, some analysis of some indexes. Again, this is what you can do automatically on a regular basis in Claude Cowork. There is also a whole different world opens when you click customize here, because if you click connect your apps, you will be able to connect a lot of different third-party apps. For example, you can connect Gmail or Google Drive, and it can work with Google Drive. It can search for files. It can fetch files from Google Drive and work with them locally and then upload back to Google Drive. You can have, for example, linear for to-do list. So if you want to work to interact with your tasks and analyze, okay, what your team has done in the last week, and you have linear as your to-do list, then you can easily do this just connected here. I will not go into details about connectors in this video. I'll probably do a second one, but this is like a very powerful tool you can use. Just try to find connectors for apps that you use in your team and see what it can do. You can even create a connection and then ask Claude Cowork like what you can do with this connector, and describe me some use cases, and based on that you can develop automations yourself for your team. This is all I wanted to share about Claude Cowork. I hope it was useful. Thank you very much for watching, and see you next time.